Welcome to a healthy living video blog at workoutmaster.com. This is Ruben.
And this is Adam.
Today we're going to talk about sugar crash and things associated with people feeling bad after what they consider to be sugar crash. So we would want to brush up because there's a possibility there's something else going on with the body. Let's tear this on apart, Ruben.
Absolutely. The term that we often use now instead of sugar crashing, we call it a bacterial feasting. That means that the bacteria is feasting on the food that you're actually putting into your stomach. And why does that happen? Raises a lot of questions on the why or why not we happen to choose the foods that we eat typically on a daily basis, because they themselves do not yield for this sort of sugar crashing that I haven't had in months, as a matter of fact.
Let's brush up on a few things before we go deep into it. Few things. Sugar crash and things associated with what we consider to be a sugar crash is just the way you feel after you eat the food.
Right.
So after you eat the food, you generally would, a lot of people feel bad. So if they're feeling bad means it's either you fall asleep or you get some kind of like depressed, or you get anxiety, you start farting, you start burping. So all kinds of nasty effects happen after you eat. A lot of times we associated that with the sugar crash. So the train of thought was that if you cut down on the sugar, so you shouldn't have any crash, and that's why we have a lot of those different diets that really advise you against eating sugar.
Correct, and that's okay for them.
Okay, and another part of what we need to understand that your digestive tract is full of bacteria.
Yes.
We're talking about good bacteria, bad bacteria. Ultimately what it is just an overgrowth of bacteria in the digestive tract that slowly moves up towards your stomach.
That's right, and good or bad bacteria, they both need nutrients.
Yes, so they eat.
Of course.
So now that we know all those things, let's tear it on apart. So if you can eat the food, what happens, Ruben?
Well, in a nutshell, what we're trying to let you know is that if the bacteria that should be residing in the lower half of your small intestine begins to proliferate at an alarming rate, it can actually begin to invade the upper or the first part of your small intestine and even get into the stomach wall, into the stomach content. What happens that anytime you feed any food that the bacteria can make use of it, mostly fiber, cellulose coming from vegetables, fruits, and any other source, or sugar itself, they will begin to act out. Acting out means that they begin to do their metabolic process just like us do ourselves, and they're going to start, creating a lot of endotoxins, toxins that are produced within the body by the metabolic function of those bacteria. So when they start dumping all this garbage into your system, you can have the reaction that we often call sugar crashing. So it's not the sugar that could be making you bad, it could be the metabolic reactions or the metabolic actions that the bacteria have in your body, and they're giving you the same effect, which is actually mislabel them one for the other.
Yeah, and it's very important because there's a kind of like a flip side to each coin. And it's very important when, let's say, when you assess your own health or you work with a client, to understand that it's not always one thing. There's a possibility of a few things happening with the body. So some people might as well getting a sugar crash, especially if they're consuming a lot of grains. Then chances are anything that gets converted into glucose will end up being possibly a pretty serious sugar crash.
Yeah, in the absence,
could be a combination of both.
In the absence of fructose, that will be very likely the reaction, because all that glucose is going to make spike up the blood sugar levels, and in the other hand, the fructose actually ameliorates the effect of the sucrose has on the body by the glucose by actually balancing it out, not letting that blood sugar get too high up.
Yeah. Another important thing that we want to rush up today on is if you follow one of the diets that completely eliminates sugar.
Right.
There's a consequences to that, because you're basically not providing your body with energy, and you're trying to kill off the bacteria, which would love to eat sugar also.
Yes.
So the train of thought, if I'm not going to eat sugar, I'm not going to have neither sugar crashes, nor am I going to feed off the bacteria, so the bacteria are going to die, therefore I'm going to be healthy. The problem with that is...
the problem with that is that the bacteria, once it feels that there's no sugar coming into the stomach, they're going to say, well, very well, now we have to change homes, because all of a sudden, in this neighborhood, there's no sugar.
Well, change home doesn't mean they're going to jump the human person.
No, they're going
to go hunting.
They're going to be moving within their system of residence, which is the human body. So they actually, what happens is that they'll start boring right through the intestinal wall or wherever they have to, and go right into the circulatory system, because your blood will always have to have sugar. So they're going to find it no matter what. Now the problem that was only localized to your digestive tract has become systemic and global, because now once they enter the circulatory system, they're going to have access to every cell in your body, from the top of your head to your toes.
That's a major point that we wanted to brush up on today. Remember guys, it's not always what it seems like. Don't necessarily believe us. Do your research. Go read about it. All we want to give you is we want to give you some ideas so you can start thinking about what's happening with your body, just like we do with our clients. It could be many different things that happens with the beautiful human body. Remember, it's a system of the system, and some things can go wrong that we're not necessarily understanding very much. Now remember guys, if you do what we say, then your future looks better already. If you share this clip with your friends, then their future looks better too.
I'll add to that. If you think about what we say, your future looks better. We don't want you to do what we tell you. We want you to think and do what you think. And if you teach your friends and your families to think about what they do and how they should be doing things differently by their own thought, then their future looks better already too.
And if you're not confused, then listen to it again, and you might actually make some sense out of it. Remember guys, all we're here to do is we're here to help you to get healthier. Thank you very much for watching. Until the next time.